Now we are going to have the next presentation, how to write an audit report in CWA. The objective is to present a true and fair picture of the state of affairs and operations in CWA. And this will be done by Rose Asafo, General Treasurer, Archdiocese of Bamenda.
How to write an audit report in the Catholic Women's Association. Definition of audit. It is an official examination of the group's financial records to see that they are true and correct. And the person who does it is called the auditor, who officially examines the financial records of the association. The person is elected or mandated to officially carry out the function. Then what is an audit report? An audit report is a document that explains or gives the details about the income and expenditures and or the assets of the association. That it summarizes the findings of the audit work done by the auditors. What is therefore the importance of an audit report? It gives confidence to the person involved in the day-to-day running operations of the association. It gives a true and fair picture of the financial situation of the association, and it also identifies costs which can be saved with proper control. The auditor, when he audits, helps to create a safeguard for the association, and this gives responsibility and caution for those collecting money to be diligent, honest, neat, and transparent. It also encourages and motivates CWA members to confidently pay in money for various purposes. And it also guides the association on the way forward, and not to prove what is wrong or create suspicion. That's not why the audit is often carried out. So to summarize, we'll say an audit report should provide a clear financial picture of the association. It should be brief and concrete. It should present information clearly, thoroughly, and simple. How can we achieve the above? It is important that the financial secretaries and treasurers give the auditors the actual, correct, sufficient, and appropriate evidence, otherwise they will be misguided. Therefore, an audit report should indicate the following. It should obtain all the information and explanations that were necessary for the purpose, whether the books or the records were well kept, whether the balance sheet agrees with the accounts in the final statement, and whether the financial statements comply with the accounting standards. Observations and comments on financial transactions or matters which have adverse effects on the functioning of the association, such as late payment of dues and all that, are observed by the auditor. The documents that are needed for auditing by the auditor, we have the first, which is the income. So the auditor examines receipts, receipt books, which he or she collects. In the case of CWA auditors, because we can also have auditors who are external, Then the day-to-day ledger, what the financial sector was calling the day book. Then we also have a statement of accounts. Then secondly, we have expenditures. And the expenditures go along with justifications, such as the payment vouchers that the financial secretary referred to, which means all cash withdrawals should be accompanied with approval forms like the payment vouchers. We also have receipts for purchase. All purchases should have receipts backing. Service renders or acknowledgement forms should also be examined. And the balance sheet should show the income, the expenditure, and the assets of the CWA. The format to write an audit report, because it's good that at all levels, the auditors should actually do some practical work. Back in our branches and zones, the auditors are just like occupying time and place. They just feel that it's a post that you just take to pass time. But it's a very important post. For example, we can say the audit report of Miss Carroll's branch. It can be any, I'm hesitating to call any town, from January to December 2021. Depends on the year that the audit is taking place. And the audit report is being addressed to, if it is at the branch, it is being addressed to the branch members at their annual meeting. For example, if it is as the zone, then it is the members of the zone at their annual meeting, zonal meeting. I am limiting this because we know we focused this audit to our sisters in US and UK. So we will have an introduction. And if it was at the branch, we'll write the structure, and it will be branch or zone or division or diocese. Then it should be accompanied, that introduction, by remarks about the financial records. And the remarks can be about records, whether they were found tidy, orderly, well dated, or the documents or whatever was examined was not well kept or not well dated. All that will go to the introduction. Then we have, the next step will be the opening balance. Since we are examining records, the financial secretary talked about the income and expenditure balances at the end. So you look at those balances to see whether they are correct. Analysis on various dues, prayer day collections such as WOCO and World Day of Prayer, project levies like the Nazareth Home levies, donation and gifts, cash flows, income, temporal goods and property of the group. All this will be cross-checked. And if there is any relevant table, it can be drawn. Next, we have the auditor's opinion. whether the financial statements are correctly calculated and corresponds to the figures in the account, whether this represents a true and fair picture of the affairs and operations. Then the auditor also has to write a recommendation or a suggestion. If there were some debts, then they can give suggestions or proposals of how these debts can be retrieved or collected from the debtors. Then the auditors has to sign. Auditors or auditor at the level of the branch, we usually have just one with their own personal name stated at the end, dated, and place of the report. For example, you can say, done this day of, we take the date of today, you say 27th of May 2022. The auditor now submits this report or presents it to the branch members or the zonal members at their meeting, presented by Asafo Rose, Treasurer General, CWA, from the Archdiocese of Bamenda. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.